Have you seen the movie called Sliding Doors with Ben Affleck and Gwyneth Paltrow? I think it was made in 1998. Have you seen it?
It's got some great relationship that came out of it that actually is in the backstory of how Sandy and I got married. So we'll share a little bit of that in a few moments. I'm John.
I'm Sandy. And the last couple of days we've been sharing just some relationship tips on how we're surviving during this quarantine time. And what we also realized is that these are things we're already sharing with clients now and how to get along. Now it's just been 10x because we are in really tight quarters. Although what we're finding out from talking to people on the outside, whether it's through Facebook or from our clients or family members, you know, we're together, and some people aren't together.
Yeah.
And an example being my son is still off at college. I'm sure many of you have kids that are in school. Maybe your husband or your wife, they're out of the state and they can't get back right now. If I would have followed my birthday plans, which is tomorrow, I would be heading to Peru, and people can't get even out of the country. Yeah. So I am grateful for being quarantined for our anniversary, which was yesterday with you, babe.
Same to you, babe. Yeah. A little different than what we had planned. But yeah, you know, like Sandy was saying, there are probably some of you that are wishing you had more time with the people that you aren't around, and there's some of you maybe thinking, I'm getting way too much time with this person. And you know, part of what happens is in a relationship is we think that it's about the amount of time that we spend with people, but it's really about the quality of time and how intentional we are with that time as well. So baby, I remember you kind of kicking this off for us when we spoke after we first met, and we were talking one night, one conversation, and you shared something with me.
Yeah, and basically what we call it is first call, last call. And I don't remember the context of the movie, but I remember how I held on to this for years, where I thought it was just so sweet that if they were traveling or what have you, they would have first call in the morning and they would close it out at night. And when I was sharing this with John, with just a casual conversation as we were amping up, you know, to our first date.
I hadn't got our first date yet.
Right. I mean, he locked onto that and he goes, well, let's just try
it.
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
And I can remember my body was like, well, why would he do that? We haven't even gone on a date. Why would he want to do this? And then all of a sudden, from all the teachings that I've done in the last couple of years, I realized what my body and my heart was saying was like, that felt safe. That felt great. I felt held. I felt seen. I felt heard. And we did. We started the first call, last call. And it sometimes would look like we would just have a quick chat because we travel a ton as well. We would have a quick chat. Sometimes we would pray. Sometimes we'd meditate together. Sometimes it would just be a simple hello.
Yeah. And it was amazing how just a couple of minutes in the morning and a couple of minutes at night, just being intentional about it, led to such a connection between the two of us, even before our first date, but really I think it was a lot of what brought us together so quickly after we had those first couple of dates.
Well, it just made me feel very held, and you know, working with so many women, what we really want is to be seen and heard and held. And whether we're working outside the home or working in the home, when we're in that get it done mode, you know, we have single focus. And this is for men, obviously, too. Single focus. And we just want to get things done. And then every once in a while, we want to let loose. So this allowed us to have a container for me to know that he's holding me, that he's seeing me. And then what happens in between those phone calls, you know, I can be myself. And then what I was able to do is bring things back to him. And it just, I don't know. It just, again, I can't say it enough. It made me feel so safe and heard.
Yeah, and you know, I loved it because it gave me some structure to work against as a guy. And a lot of times as men, you know, look, let's face it. Sometimes we look at connecting with someone as a to-do item. And you know, we can either become a to-do task of, okay, I've got to call this person or talk to this person, I got to call my spouse because I'm so focused on what needs to be done. Or at other times it may just be, well, I'm around them all the time, and it degrades into nothing special.
Yeah, it reminds me, I remember an Archie Bunker episode of, was it called Archie Bunker? What was the name? You know, with Edith, Archie,
I know that,
in the 70s.
Yeah.
All in the Family. That
All
was
in
it.
the Family.
I remember he said to
Trivia's night.
Yeah.
Brought to you here.
That I remember Edith said, you know, she wanted to be told that he loved her. And I remember from his Barca lounge, he said, why do I need to tell you that I love you? I told you that the day we got married. And so on John's, to piggyback on what John was saying, there's something about being intentional. So whether you are waking up with your partner or your partners across the world and you're not talking to them, whether you're being quarantined because of this nasty virus or just because you can't see them. You can do this with your college kids too, but set up that intentional time in the morning. If you are together, you know, guys, I can't tell you enough what you can do for your gal. Is just to reach over and to have a few minutes of quiet time where you just have a conversation that's intentional, and then close it out at night. Close it out at night to have a special moment, and you'll have no idea how the temperament in the home will shift when we're feeling seen or heard.
Yeah, and by adding to that, I think sometimes I know she'll come up and don't even have to exchange words. It doesn't even have to be a conversation sometimes. It's just that intentional, just, the eye contact, just locking each other's eye, breathing each other in. That is huge right there as well.
Yeah, and I want to say this too. There's sometimes when I'm just like, I got to get things done. I'm running late. I have this, I have that, I have this. I'll go, I don't have time.
Yeah.
And what John has been really great at is honestly saying, no, babe. This is it. This is our time. And he does this thing where he takes my chin. You take my chin, and that thing he does, and he does that, and it just melts me. So I know this seems so basic, and it is. And that's the cool thing about what I've learned in relationship is that some of the things that that I took for granted in the past, I didn't need to, and these are things that can change our state. Go back to one of the other videos that we did about twirling us in the kitchen or what have you, but I know too there's a lot of kids that are in college and they can't get home. So I just am asking that whether your parents as well, set up a container with them. Maybe it's not first call, last call, but something where they know that there's a certainty, whether it be the time of day you call them, whatever it is, some structure around that. I know many of you are talking about homeschooling and you're setting up structure for your little ones at home. Us adult kids, we kind of need that too. So we just wanted to pop on and share this tip with you, and hope it works. We'd love to hear more from you, and looking forward to seeing you and talking to you guys again.
Yep, absolutely.
See you. Bye.
See you. Bye.